Hello, everybody. I'm doing a surprise live. Okay, please get those likes up. I will have that pin at the top. Okay, let's see. Let me pin it real quick. You'll see that at the top of the chat. It definitely will help the algorithm. I'm not sure if I'm going to, well, this is a live, but I might upload this as a regular video as well. A lot of people, hey, Guilty Angel, a lot of people, when I go live, a lot of people don't always see my video. You know, I have over 70,000 subscribers, but when I go live, a lot of my live videos, only about 1,000 to maybe 2,000 people will see the video. So this is a good video right here. All of my videos are good, but I went to see Michael. I had to see. I had to represent for Michael with the sequins top and everything. There were a few. I saw 3 other women who also had the sequins tops, the Michael Jackson hat, the glove and everything. So I want to give my official review, but I also want us to have a little bit of fun as well. Okay, so I'm going to do the review first about the movie, and then I'm going to show, and let's just talk about Michael. Okay, so you might see this video twice. I'm not sure, because some people don't like when I upload my lives as a regular video, seeing the videos twice, but that's what I might do. Okay, so Michael. So many of us were waiting for this, okay? And I will tell you that it was good, and that Jaafar really would, his uncle Michael is looking down on him and has to be proud. Jaafar did so good. You can just, I'm going to try not to get emotional tonight, okay, with this, but hey, The Quiet Storm, Jaafar, let me make these pictures a little bit smaller real quick. All right, so I got to keep the king, Michael's picture up. Okay, so, and isn't Jaafar handsome? I mean, he is. Okay. Hey, Mr. Universe. So, look, I'm a millennial. I'm a millennial, baby. And I'm saying that because we are the last generation that actually grew up with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson has been a star since he was a child. Okay, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. Michael passed away in the 2000s still. So millennials, we grew up with Michael. Michael was the dominant star, the biggest star in music history. That is a fact. Growing up, I remember watching the Michael Jackson movie, The Gloves. I remember how when Remember the Time premiered, TV, millennials are the last generation who remembers a lot of stuff that is no longer here. When Michael Jackson's music videos premiered, it premiered on regular TV. It was an event. I remember the Time being an event. I remember It Don't Matter If You're Black or White. That was an event. No one is touching Michael. Not Beyonce, not Chris Brown. Are they the biggest things for a lot of Gen Zs and stuff and Alpha? Have they dominated in music? Yes. But let's be clear, baby, Michael was still alive. I was still alive when Michael, I saw Michael. I'm a millennial. I grew up with Michael. And I remember watching the the Bashir interview. I remember watching him get his Icon Award that Beyonce and I believe Justin Timberlake, they presented the award to him. I remember watching the BET Awards when Michael came out with James Brown, both of them gone. That was an event. So I can say I was alive to witness and grow up with Michael Jackson when he wasn't even as old. Okay, I remember. Okay, we know Michael is the king of music. People passing out. But let me be quiet. I'm sorry. I don't want to rant. I'm sorry. Let's get into this movie. I'm so sorry, y'all. Let's get into this. Taylor Swift, I like her music. There is no one alive in music that's as big as Michael. Michael Jackson changed choreography. Michael Jackson made music videos into movies the way you see today. Michael Jackson started humanitarian efforts by musicians and social causes. We are the world. No one was passing out. Look, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Usher, Justin Bieber, all of them are great. All of them know, because they grew up with Michael too. They know they're not Michael. Fans passed out within 2 minutes of seeing Michael, grown men and women, stadiums selling out. No one, he is the king of music. He's on a different level. It's just a fact. So I had to see this movie. Now, as you can see on the screen, baby, everybody who grew up with Michael knows that the Jackson, an American Dream, as you can see, is untouchable. So before I went to see this, I said, if it's not on the level of that film, come on now. Come on now. Every Michael Jackson fan, most, have seen the Jacksons, An American Dream. It is one of the greatest films I've ever seen. It was on VH1 when VH1 used to play this a lot. And it's about 4 hours, but they wouldn't always play it the same day. Well, they would, but it was like a TV type of show thing. But it was long, but it was so good. And it gives you a lot of details about Michael's life. So I'm going to tell you, I saw Michael tonight, and when I went in, okay, starting off at the beginning, at first I said, let me give it a chance. They jump right in to him singing as a child and stuff, and it goes through the like it'll say 1960 this 1970, not all the time, but and spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear about the movie, do not watch this, okay? So at first I was like, well, where's the details about his life more, growing up, a little bit more of the story. I understand it's in the theaters. It's not like what was on VH1. The Jackson, The American Dream was about 4 hours. And so it does show you the little boy did phenomenal that played Michael Jackson. Joe Jackson, of course. I would have to say that the Jackson, An American Dream showed more of how effed up he was, in my opinion, and gave you more of a story. Being in Gary, Indiana, starting with nothing, even a little bit about how Catherine and his father Joe met. It's more, the Jackson 5, An American Dream, has a lot of details. Nothing is touching that. But Michael, out of a 10, I would give it an 8. And that's good. Okay? People are saying that Jaafar should get an Oscar. I would say I could see that happening because he really became Michael. He really became him. He even sounded exactly like him. His voice, the way that he spoke, his mannerisms, everything. He poured, for this to be the first time we've seen his nephew, you would think that he has been an actor before, like he's really trained. It didn't seem like an actor trying to act. It seemed very natural. Okay, so I could see him getting an Oscar for his performance. As far as the film, I don't know if I could see the film getting an Oscar for like Best Picture, because it's not that it wasn't good to me. It was good, but it didn't give me enough details. Okay, and they look, Janet was not at the premiere. Janet is not in the movie. I don't know what's going on with that. You do see LaToya, but it's not about them. It's about Michael. That's what it's about. The film is about the building of a legend, how his life started, the buildup of it, and it's a lot of messages in it. Okay. So you see, of course, everybody knows about Joe Jackson and how he made Michael feel, how he was always, beating him or making the comment about his nose. And the yes, Joe Jackson did create the Jackson 5, and you see that in there. He wants the credit for it. He did. People can talk bad about Joe Jackson, and it's true, he was a horrible person, but there would not be Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5, without Joe believing in the dream and pushing them. But he pushed too hard sometimes. He wasn't a nice person. Okay, and I'm going to show you something later regarding that man. Okay, but he did push them, and he told them, you have to be perfect. You have to be perfect. You're either a winner or a loser, is what he told them. I'm not going to tell you everything. And I think that the way that Joe treated Michael is a part of why he became a perfectionist, because of that pressure on him. And also proven to Joe that he was great. He didn't need him, he could stand on his own. And making Michael, it's a lot. I'm trying to calm down. I will tell you this: within 5 minutes of the film, I actually got teary, and it came out of nowhere. I was like, when I looked at Jaafar playing Michael, I'm trying not to tear up. It actually hit me that Michael's dead. Because when I remember the day they announced he was dead, it still doesn't seem real to me. It seemed like something out of a movie. I always felt like it was a setup by multiple people that took him out, even maybe music artists. I still believe that a lot were very jealous of him. And it's like when you're watching it and you know his story. See, this is not the first time I've seen the story of Michael. I watched The Jackson 5 and American Dream. So seeing this, I'm like, okay, let me see what this is going to do. And then it hit me that Michael is dead, and I'm watching a film about Michael. Oh, I just remember what he went through and everything. I just started to get emotional out the blue over it. And as the film went on, it started getting better and better. There were so many moments where um, you felt like you were at a concert actually watching Michael. It was so good. Like, Jaafar had all the dance moves, everything. The dance moves, the facial expressions, the mannerisms, the voice. Um, this film really shows you who he was as a human, and maybe why he connected with children, why he loved animals. It shows you that he was alone and that kind of isolated, and that his childhood was taken from him, and he wanted to help people. So it shows you that about him. It even talked about the whole nose job thing, which came from Joseph. I mean, Michael was fine as hell. I have a video on TikTok. I actually have it on my shorts. Michael was fine as shit. Even before he did that, he was fine as shit after he got the nose job, and he was fine as shit. I like Michael during the Rock With You era. I wanna rock with you. He looked so good to me in that video, and during that era when he was doing interviews. To me, that's when Michael was really at the finest to me, during the Rock With You era. Okay, so Michael was a confident person too, but he also, when it came to his father had a hold on him. And that's what usually happens when it's your parent. Other people can say things, but when it's your parent who puts you down, it can really mentally fuck with you. And that's what happened when it comes to Michael. Okay? It's Cerebral Talks TV. So, you really got to see who he was as a person. He was a very Michael was well spoken. He treated people with respect. But when you really look at the fact that Michael literally grew up in show business since he was a little boy, and that's all that he really knew, and he did not live the life of normal people, but he ended up in a position where he was able to have an impact on the world. When I see people, I see it all the time on TikTok, people saying, damn, I can't believe I was born too late to witness Michael. And when we tell you, if you're watching this, when we tell you that Michael was and is still the most famous human that's been on earth. You really need to believe that. But everyone's saying, people just believe it. You see that all in the comments because it's true. Michael was like magic. He was like magical, like something, a myth, some sort of myth you hear about, but it's actually real. Like this man really exists. Like I'm trying. I usually speak better, y'all. I'm a little emotional, and I don't have anything written down. I'm just speaking from the heart right now, seeing it. When I watch the Jacksons, The American Dream. Yes, I'm going to keep bringing it up because it's the best damn film on his life and the Jacksons. If you didn't see it, you need to get it or buy it on DVD and watch Michael. At the end of the Jackson 5 An American Dream, and when you see his life, and at the end of it how they have the glove was so magical when Michael put it on, and the photo album, and just think about it. Michael Jackson came from Gary, Indiana. This is a Black American royalty story. American Dream, and it's called the American. Everyone can relate. Michael is not racist. I'm not racist. He wants everyone love Michael of all races. But the fact remains, the most famous man in history in music is a Black American man that came from Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana had nothing. This is an American dream. What happened for the Jacksons? They're royalty of America. Like you have the Kennedys, baby. The Jacksons is also up there. It's like the same level to me. You know. Ah, Lord have mercy. I mean, what happened for Michael was fated. It was his destiny. It was his destiny. I don't believe we will ever see another Michael Jackson in our lifetime. There will never be another Michael Jackson. No. The world would have to reset, some sort of apocalyptic event, and the world start over, and then you get something like this. You're just, because he is music. Michael was not bound to one genre. He didn't want that. He wanted to make music that everyone would love, and he did. And he broke barriers. He broke barriers with race relations. He broke barriers for artists that are selling out stadiums, brand deals. We know what happened with Pepsi, Pepsi or Coca-Cola with his hair and everything. That's in the movie too. Michael, music during, to me, the best music, in my opinion, is the 1950s into the mid 2000s. After that, it's just no, no, no. The best music I like a lot, especially, is from the 1980s and the 1990s. Like different genres, that's like the peak. R&B in the 90s is the peak. Everyone knows this. Okay, and Michael Jackson stood the test of time until he, before he passed away. He's still the king now, but Michael was the king all the time, everywhere he went, everywhere he went. And it still seems crazy to me the way that he passed away. you know he was not a drug addict. Who the hell was that doctor? Who sent him, that damn doctor? Yes, I believe it was a setup. He had said, I'm gonna show you something. Okay, so is the movie worth seeing? Yeah, yes it is. There will be a part two. The way that it ends, you want more. When it ended, I was like, hold on, what's it like? No, it's supposed to be, I need more. Come on. But that's because you're gonna get the second part. There's been a lot of controversy because on Rotten Tomatoes, the critics who have always tried to take down Michael Jackson and his legacy, in my opinion, because the greatest, the most famous human on earth is a Black American man. This is just facts. And there are critics out there who cannot stand it, some of them, and they want to just bring this man down, bring the man legacy down. He has the highest selling album of all time. When I was little, Thriller used to come on all the time around Halloween on TV, and it was just absolutely amazing. Okay, so they gave it 35% on Rotten Tomatoes, the critics, but the audience vote gave it 95%. Okay, so at my theater, it wasn't as crowded as I thought it would be, and that kind of made me upset. because I had got my ticket. I thought it would be sold out, but I have been seeing videos on TikTok where it is sold out and people are dancing um, after the movie and everything like that. And most reviews you will see, everyone loved it. It was not a terrible movie at all. It's definitely worth seeing. For me personally, though, The Jacksons, An American Dream remains at the top for me, but Michael was still well done. The quality was well done. The outfits were well done. The cinematography, it was just very well done. And his nephew Jafar, just I'm like, damn, this is his first acting role, and he became Michael. He really did. He did his damn thing, and he deserves to get awards for it. And I don't say that often because a lot of movies are terrible these days to me, and but I can definitely say he deserves to get awards for this. And I just think Michael would just be so proud of him. I mean, and he's a perfect choice. There were moments of it where, like certain side angles and stuff, it looked just like Michael. And I'm telling you, you get really hyped up during the when he's performing, like you're at a concert, literally, and the lights and the mute, everything was perfect. And they showed the very important parts of his music career, you know, the buildup of it to the fun stuff. Don't stop till you get enough. The Motown, how his father was always trying to milk him for his money. Okay, and I mean, they're to me they didn't show everything about him like you see in the Jackson Five. Um, his father was a money hungry man, and I'm going to show you now. Now that I've said you need to see this movie, it is good. It is good. To me, I give it an 8 out of a 10, which is good. That's not bad. Okay. I just wish that they just gave me a little bit more details in certain parts of his life that's in the Jackson American Dream, but it's still good. You still get to see who he was. So now I don't want to get too negative, but I had to show, it's just something I saw on TikTok. Okay, Michael Jackson. Again, you'll never see another Michael Jackson because Michael Jackson made music what it was. He also broke barriers to have black artists played on MTV. And you see that as well. I mean, nobody was making music videos like movies. Nobody was doing the thing with the dancing. And also Janet Jackson too is phenomenal. You know, her and Michael is just absolutely phenomenal. And Michael, again, you cannot compare anyone to him. I don't give a damn how popular they are today. They're not Michael. And most of your favorite, Beyonce is a fan of Michael. Usher is a fan of Michael. Justin Bieber is a fan of Michael. They know who he was. They were giving him icon awards again before he died. And everyone grew up with Michael. And Michael was the king. Like, again, like something like a fairy tale that's just real. And he made music what it was. He social causes again. When you didn't see, you see celebrities now doing those commercials when a disaster happens to get money to help feed people and stuff. Michael did We Are the World and brung people together. That was Michael. Michael, remember that music video about the planet? About Mother Earth? I remember when that was on TV and like time stopped. Oh my God. Very powerful video. Okay. When he married Lisa Marie Presley, I remember watching that on Oprah. Everybody had to watch that when that happened. And then the video, You Are Not Alone. I Am Here. Everybody was like glued to the TV watching it. It was just the way things are today is just so different. Back in the day, and it wasn't even that extremely long ago, music was everything. It was an event when certain videos premiered. It was just beautiful. Absolutely, absolutely beautiful. Okay, and Michael paved the way to what you see now with other artists. Even when it comes to having your catalog and publishing, Michael owned the catalog publishing to the Beatles and so much more. He was very smart and very well off. And he also said that's what made things more, made him a target. And I believe it. I absolutely believe it. I remember when Michael said that Tommy Mottola is a devil. I remember when he said that. And I'm not saying, look, all I will say is that Mariah Carey said that Tommy Mottola, when she was married to him, that she could not leave her house. He follows her, and she was very unhappy with that man. And Michael said that Mariah Carey came to him crying and said he is a monster. That's what he said Mariah told him. And I believe it because Mariah said that a lot about Tommy. And I'm not, I don't know everything, but Michael said that they wanted his publishing because this is a look, at the end of the day, they can say what they want about, his skin and stuff. Michael was still a proud black man, and Michael is a black man who owned the Beatles. You better believe there were people who said hell no to that. What, excuse me? And he had said not too long before he passed away, he said, they never thought that I could be this smart. He says that he was, how Prince was saying you become a slave to these companies and stuff. And Michael ended up owning half of Sony through the publishing and the stuff that he owned. So, yeah, he was a threat to some people. You better believe that. They didn't like that. So I don't know where the fuck that doctor came from that was giving him that medicine for him to sleep. But let's be very clear, Michael was not a drug addict, getting high like a crackhead or something. He needed help sleeping, and he did have pain, and he had an accidental overdose that the doctor gave him. He wasn't snorting cocaine and all that other stuff. Also, Michael paid for the funeral of a lot of legendary black singers that people don't even know about, from the 1950s and stuff like that as well, who might not have had people, they didn't have much money. And he said that was a thing. Michael said, you see so many black artists who just end up with tragic stories when it comes to their publishing and being able to have money to survive. And that was the case for some of them, and Michael paid for their funerals. So let me see. Michael was the Pied Piper. The student is never greater than the teacher, and Michael was indeed the teacher. Okay, let's see. Michael was the most brilliant businessman. Nobody's ever been able to duplicate what he's done. Tommy is the devil. Conrad Murray was the doctor, I believe. I believe he was the fall guy. And even Latoya has said something like that. Um, My goodness. I remember the day Michael died. I still can't believe it. It didn't even seem real. Like, I never thought he could die. Even in my mind still don't think this happened, but it did. And I remember that night I went to sleep. I heard his voice when he was a child singing, and I can't describe it, but it bothered my spirit. Um, One of my favorite songs by Michael is With a Child's Heart, but one of my favorites is One Day in Your Life. Now, that's back in the day before he even went solo, I believe. One day in your life when it's a very powerful song. It's sad, it's beautiful. When you're something lonely, you remember me somehow. Though you don't need me now, I will stay in your heart. And when things fall apart, one day in your life, when you find that you're always lonely. I mean, it's Michael. Come on, listen to the lyrics. It's Michael talking to you, because that was his life, you know? So that's one of my favorite songs, by Michael back in the day, One Day in Your Life. I also love him in the Jackson 5. I love when have you, I treated you bad, and oh my dear, since you've been away, don't you know I've been around with my head hanging down, and I wonder who's loving you. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet. Okay. So let's go to the next thing when it comes to Michael. So I know you, sometimes people tell me to please be quiet. Sometimes I can sing and sometimes it's not that great. So I mean, look, this is a big moment. Like when Jafar looks back on his life, it's like he'll say, "Damn, I did that. I really did that." I mean, he did his uncle so proud again. And it's just a perfect fit. That the fact that it's his own blood relative is it what makes it so much more special. It's his actual nephew. I mean, isn't it just an honor, really? So imagine knowing that your uncle is the greatest musician in history. To come from that, you come from the family of Michael Jackson. That man can walk around saying, "I'm Michael Jackson's nephew." Not saying that anyone else family don't matter. I'm just saying he can be proud. Like, damn, I'm Michael Jackson's nephew. I'm a Jackson, damn it. And he did it. Michael was not just one of a kind, and there will never be another. I love this movie, and the part I cried, oh girl, I'm trying not to cry, was him in the hospital after the Pepsi video. Girl, I know, and his damn daddy still being concerned about him performing, but that was his daddy. His daddy, I've known someone like Joe Jackson, just so money hungry to the core. They might even prostitute you as their relative just to get money off of you. So no one cared when Joe Jackson passed away a few years ago. I will, even though he was an asshole, I can still admit that Joe Jackson, there is no Jacksons without Joe. He had the dream. He was a musician himself. It didn't work out for him, so he pushed his kids. And the truth is that you do have to be dedicated. The greatest artists you see were dedicated people. Even Beyonce. Beyonce was singing since she was little. She used to train in high heels and have to run around talent shows and everything. You know, it's not like you can just get signed like you see today just because you have a big social media following and stuff. No, you had to work. So, and that's what they did. But he could have been a better parent, a better person. Okay. But I definitely think that hard work, of course, it influenced him. Plus, Michael again is a Virgo. Virgos are very determined people, so that's just a part of his personality anyway. But so Jafar did the damn thing. He did so good. I look, I wouldn't mind seeing it again because I really love when he was doing the performances, when he was doing the moonwalk, the scenery. It was like being at a good ass concert. Like seriously, parts of it. So okay, let's get into okay. Hold on. Let's get into Joe, what they used to say about Joe. Okay, for those who don't know.
Did he ever beat you? Yes, he did. Yes. And
why did he do this? Why did he sexually abuse me? Why did you watch him do this? And she says, Latoya, this is something that's private. You keep it in the family. You don't tell people about it. I say, I just need answers. I need help.
I think he means well and wants nothing but the best for his kids. I just think that the way he went about certain things wasn't the best way.
He's going to discipline us. And you were kind of afraid of that. It just put something in your belly.
Tell you that he loves you.
Yeah, he has.
He can do that. He has that.
He has done that before.
No, that never happened to me. It honestly didn't.
And you are not corroborating any of these allegations she's made about sexual abuse?
No.
Okay, with this clip right here, that's Reby. Baby, there are certain things you're not going to see in these films. It wasn't even in the Jackson 5 and American Dream. I'm a fan of Michael and the Jacksons, but this is something that was talked about back in the day, but it's sort of like hush hush now, like we don't dare go there. Basically, Latoya has been messy. Latoya said that Joe Jackson was graping Reby. That's Reby. He also was graping her. That's what Latoya said. And look at Reeby's face. Latoya came out and said things, and I think because of the pressure of ruining the family's legacy or threats or something, she backtracked on what she said. But Latoya did say that her husband, that Jewish man she married, who did beat the shit out of her, she said that she lied about some things regarding Michael because her husband told her to, because he wanted to get some money and that he was beating her. I do believe that. But when it comes to SA, I'm going to keep it real with you. Yeah, I think Joe did it. I think he was graping Reby and Latoya, and I don't know about Janet. Okay? When people talk, you have to also look at their eyes, their mannerisms, how they tilt their head down, they get scared like children again. And she's asking Reby, did your father grape you? And as you can see her face right there, she said, no. Latoya aired it out. She said that, I hate to say this, babe, because we love Catherine, Michael's mother, but Latoya said that Joe used to get in the bed with Reby, grape her, and the mom would say, leave her alone. Not tonight. Let her sleep. And Latoya asked Reby, does he do to you what he was doing to me? I'm sorry. So when people say Joseph Jackson was a monster, and Reby was the first one to leave also out the house before they really even became extremely famous. She said she had to get the hell out the house. Now there are people claiming that Janet is Reby's daughter with Joe. The father. Now I don't believe that one. I'm sorry, but that's some things people are going around saying no. But Joseph was abusive. And I always notice in interviews, Michael, all of them pause like there's just something that they can't get into and publicly talk about. They just say, yes, he did too much. Yes, he hit us. But the way they get scared like children again, you know there's more to it. So you don't see it in any of the films, but Latoya is the one who said he was graping them. There are even people who think he did something to Michael and the boys. I don't know, but Latoya said it. Come on, let's get more into it.
No.
I think from the American Dream, that they put my father out like he was a bad guy, and I just don't like the way they portrayed him a little bit in that American Dream story. He wasn't like that. And don't forget, now he did beat our butts when we did something wrong, and that's what all parents did back in the day. But he wasn't like that. Yeah, he wanted us to make it. He bought us instruments and rehearsed us, and he saw the dream for us, and I'm glad he did that for us.
Over a friend's house when mother would let me go, and I'd see my friends, the relationship with their father, how they call him dad, and sit all in their lap, and...
What do you call him?
Joseph.
Always have done?
One time I tried to call him dad.
And what happened?
He said no. He said no. He said, I'm Joseph. You call me Joseph. I'm Joseph to you. So your father tells you one time, you don't do it again.
Do you see how her facial expressions are? She said, Michael and Janet said, we can't call him dad. He says, no, I'm not dad to you. I'm Joseph. You call me Joseph. You don't call me dad. And she says, when he tells you something, you listen. You see how her eyes got? Like, basically, He's going to beat the shit out of you or maybe grape you or something if you don't listen to him. She's trying to keep her composure and keep smiling through the pain. She said she would see the other kids able to hug their daddy and say, "Dad, I love you," and hug their own father. And she couldn't even do that to her own daddy. Her own father would not let her even call him dad. And the way she's saying it is that he said it to her in a threatening way. "No, you don't call me dad. No, I'm Joseph to you. You call me Joseph. Why can't they call you daddy?" Girl, this is some crazy shit. I looked up Joe Jackson's zodiac sign. He was a Leo. I'm trying to, okay, that's all I can tell you. He was a Leo. Okay. Hold on.
So I've always called him Joseph.
I blame my mother more than my father because I think if any man who's sleeping with his daughter and the wife is standing there and she's part of my blood and he's not, and she allows him to do this to her daughter, something's wrong. Something's wrong with the man. How could she stay with him like that? This is her daughter. Leave him, like my sister asked. Leave him, do something, go somewhere. But she chose not to. She chose to stay right there and watch him do that. Why, I don't know. I'm sure there are a lot of reasons. Perhaps she would prefer to see him with the daughters than another lady on the street. I don't know. I blame my mother more than my father because I think if any man who's sleeping with his daughter and the wife is standing there and she's part of my blood and he's not, and she allows him to do this to her daughter, something's wrong. Something's wrong with the man. How could she stay with him like that? This is her daughter. Leave him, like my sister asked. Leave him, do something, go somewhere. But she chose not to.
Whew. You know, I look at everything. The fact that LaToya, being a part of the most famous music family in American history, went on a public talk show, multiple actually, and aired this out. I'm like, do you really think she's lying? Either something happened behind the scenes where when you see stuff like this, you think, did someone do something to her and she has a beef with someone in the family and she wants to take him down? Or is she tired of the lie and she wants the whole world to know what happened? I don't know what. I mean, she's close to the family again. She was at the premiere of Michael with Jermaine. She said it. She said some things and then she said it wasn't true. But I haven't seen anything where she retracted saying that Joe raped them. At least her and Reby. I haven't seen anything where she said that was a lie. So I know some people might be mad that I'm even playing these clips, but I needed you to feel how Joseph Jackson was a monster, because you see it in the film, but you don't really see it. You know what I'm saying? You know, so okay, hold on. Let me see one last thing. Okay, so these are the sisters. Oh, okay. Gorgeous. And yes, her and Janet look so much alike. Reby is absolutely gorgeous. LaToya, gorgeous. Janet, gorgeous. Okay, so let me get this back up. Let's get this over here. And where's Michael? Okay. So that is pretty much, my review is that It is worth seeing. It's not a bad movie. You do feel like at times you definitely, he sounds exactly like Michael, his speaking voice and his mannerisms. And when you see him perform, it's like watching Michael again. Okay? So the film, while it's not extremely giving you the details of everything, I mean, you don't even see Janet, it does give you enough where you see the rise of who he became and some of the things he had to deal with and how he overcame that. And everything he wanted, he did. He made it happen. And his father was like a bully, you know? But he said, no, I have a destiny. I hear these songs and lyrics. I feel it. And he made it all happen. So that's just a fact. And you will never see another Michael Jackson. I mean, if you can show me somebody, and I'm not saying this to shade the current big artists who are famous, but none of them make people fall out within 2 minutes of seeing them. All Michael had to do was stand there. Just look at it on TikTok. Michael just stood there and men and women passed out within 2 minutes of just witnessing him. You ain't never seen no shit like that with today's artists. Not Beyonce, not Justin Bieber, not Usher, not Taylor Swift. None. You don't see it. You just don't. You don't. And that doesn't mean they don't have good music. Some of their music. It doesn't mean that. It's just they don't have the same effect. Michael had an effect on people, and he changed the industry. And his music is legendary. Come on, I love Remember the Time. Come on, we ain't never seen nothing like that. The dance moves, it was regal. It was regal, and it made black people feel a lot of pride as well with that video. Okay, I mean, it made sense. He was telling black people, "Do you remember the time when people debate about ancient Egypt? Ancient Egypt was black, and then they mixed with other people. When you see a lot of Egyptians today, they don't look any different than a lot of other biracial people that you see. It's Africa. They have been overtaken a lot in wars and stuff, and they mix with different people. But a part of that mixture is Black African. That's facts, and I don't care who gets upset about it now. Nubians and stuff, I think they were there. I don't know all of that, but it was a mixed society, in my opinion. And black people were there. Okay, and Michael did that video. I mean, Eddie Murphy, Iman. It was so wonderful. And he was telling black people, do you remember the time? Do you remember times of greatness in the past? You know, that's what the message also was with the video. Okay. Even if look, Black Americans is an ethnic group from America. I'm not from Egypt. Do I have ancestors who probably could have been in Egypt? Possibly. You know? But at the end of the day, they were in Africa. And it was a beautiful video. It doesn't matter if you're black or white was a beautiful video, because it was a message at the video at the end. When the faces kept switching, you turned into a black person, a white person, an Indian person, another Asian person, Hispanic. He was showing the message. And he had, look, can you name a celebrity today that has the top Hollywood actors and musicians in their video? You don't even see anything like that. He had Tyra Banks, and he had the most famous people doing cameos in his video. You don't see that like it was back then. And that video, it doesn't matter if you're black or white, and he had all the faces changing. He was telling the world, it doesn't matter. Who gives a shit if you're black or white? And I'm disappointed. All I see on social media is race this, race that. Racism. It just never will end. Who gives a fuck if you're black or white? Who gives a fuck? Why does it matter? I know about history. I know about culture. I know the world ain't perfect. I know a lot of people are anti-black in various parts of the world, including parts of Africa. I know all of that. But it's like human beings been on the earth for so long. Why is it such a big deal that someone looks different than you? Who gives a shit? It's just weird, in my opinion. I grew up in a diverse area. So I literally grew up around all racial groups in my school. So I don't relate to people who only grew up around one race of people. That's not my experience. And it actually is great it was that way because I'm not racist because of it. So, excuse me? Who were you, Johnny, to tell me that? I am a millennial. I grew up watching Michael Jackson and the movies that he did. Thriller, like I said, came on when Halloween time would come on. Are you serious? Michael was popular every generation. The only generation who did not get to witness him at large is Gen Z and Gen Alpha. At large, to experience that man. Hold on. I didn't say that Michael Jackson only focused on black people. Did I not just say he did? It doesn't matter if you're black or white, because it doesn't matter if you're black or white. That was the point in that amazing video. I said that Remember the Time was an uplifting video towards black people. The whole point of it being Egyptian and the cast was black, with Iman, who's East African, who looks like the Egyptians, even though, you know, they say that's not their history, but still. The whole point of an all-black cast for that amazing video and the title being called Remember the Time is because he was trying to tell black people, do you remember the time of greatness? That you know, it doesn't just have to be Egypt, though. That's the point he was saying. Michael's videos always had a message. The Earth Song, when he showed humans destroying the earth and cutting off the elephant's tusk and stuff, showing it. So, baby, please, just let me get you out of here. You ain't listening. You don't listen. You have selective listening. I don't like slow people like you. I literally just told you the man wasn't racist and you're still talking stupid shit. Get off my channel. Thank you. Okay? Michael was for all people. And you see that in the film, Michael. He literally says he wants music that everyone listens to. I don't know why some of y'all get triggered every time people bring up black people in Egypt. It really triggers some of y'all out there. Like, you just cannot believe it. Look at the paintings, damn it. I mean, how obvious could it be? But they got mixed up with different groups. It's not rocket science. You can literally look at them today and tell that they are mixed with black and white. It's not rocket science. Yes, Michael definitely brung so many people together. You know, I think he would be disappointed if he saw how race relations are still fucking terrible today. That's all you see on TikTok constantly. You know, it's crazy to me. It's sad, really. I'm not saying everyone's like that, but it's a significant amount of people, you know. And there were even people who was racist that loved Michael. Like, they didn't necessarily like all people, but they like Michael. I remember this Asian guy said his parents were racist, but they didn't consider Michael to be black because they loved him so much. They just can't. It's craziness, but that's a very real thing as well. You know, if you're triggered by someone being proud to say, I mean, black is a racial classification here in America. But when someone is really great and popular, it triggers some people if they say that they're black. Like, because they're racist, they don't want to accept it. They get angry that they love a black person. Or they'll start dissecting your mixed ancestry and stuff. That happens too. So, oh yeah, Guilty Angel says he was a civil rights leader. Yeah, he definitely supported a lot of black civil rights leaders. Michael, I remember when he was with, Lord, my mind can't think right now. He's still alive. I can't even think right now. He's so popular, but I can't even remember his name. Al Sharpton. When Michael was talking about what happens to black artists, how they're trying to get them for having the publishing, and Michael publicly said that he knows who he is, and he said, I know that I'm black. I didn't forget that. I know that I'm a black man. I'm proud. That's what Michael told him. So, you know, the legacy of Michael will not be wiped away. Before this movie even came out, I had felt like the media was trying to erase him from history. Like he ain't even exist, the greatest musician in history of music. That's how I used to feel. Like I don't even hear anyone always talking about him anymore. Like they're trying to pretend he didn't exist. Like, you know, because we got these new artists out, so we're gonna go and claim they're the greatest and just shit on Michael and pretend like erase this man, a man from existence or something. Like, no, you're not. And the reactions that people are having right now that Michael is out all over TikTok is showing you that even in the grave, he still dominates. Okay? If you're a music artist, Michael is the artist that you compare yourself to. Like, damn, I want to be great like Michael Jackson. I want to have quality music and videos like Michael. I want to do something that changes the industry like Michael. I want to be talked about 100 to 500 years from now. So they will never be able to erase Michael Jackson. No, that's not going to happen, baby. I just can't. It would, no, no. No, 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 no. And I'm going to say something controversial I'm not supposed to say. And I'm not saying I support the man, what he did. But they even erase R. Kelly. You don't hear no, I mean, I'm not saying I agree with R. Kelly. We know what happened. But it doesn't change that he is the king of R&B music, even though what he did is disgusting. And that doesn't mean I'm celebrating him or uplifting him for that. But I noticed that, I guess, it's what happened. But they do that, you know, erasing people from history type of thing. Like that's what they're doing to try to do with Michael. It's like you ain't gonna never be able to erase that man. So I'm going to leave, y'all. I'm going to leave right now. But what I will say again, you cannot compare anyone to Michael. Show me people passing out just looking at him within 2 to 3 minutes. They did not change music videos to look like actual movies and stuff. No. They did not basically invent choreography that you see today in videos. No. They did not make selling out stadiums a thing. And they did not start social humanitarian causes by singers / celebrities. Michael did, baby. And Michael also helped when it comes to buying up the publishing that a lot of people were not doing. And none of them have the greatest selling album of all time. Or had TV stop, literally, an event for your music video to come on. You haven't seen shit like that ever since him. So with that said, baby, y'all have a good night. Y'all have a good, yeah, Michael definitely has an influence on celebrity singers getting really dressed up and bedazzled to do a performance, having signatures and everything, because Michael has signature moves. Okay, so all right. Okay, so thank you. Mr. Universe says everyone make sure y'all send a cash app. You know, I'm sure I'm missing, thank you. I'm sure I'm missing some things, you know. But I can say that damn, I was alive to witness Michael years before he passed away, for that man who came up in here when I was a little girl, a teenager, an adult. I can say I actually saw Michael on TV at award shows, accepting awards. I remember his concert before, I believe it was before September 11th. Baby, it was all over TV. It was an event. When Britney Spears, remember? Britney Spears and Michael together. Maya was there. All the greats in music, all the celebrities and news people that so many people that you see on TV from all industries in the crowd. Do y'all remember that? That mega concert on TV? Yes, baby. So yes, I was alive to see Michael. And I just feel like, damn, when I get old and, you know, they'll be asking me, damn, was he really that great? We keep hearing about him. The younger people are like, yeah, y'all, he was. I saw it. Even before, like, Michael he's been a star since he was a little baby. So even before I was born, but again, he was in every generation, a mega star making the great music and everything. So I grew up watching Michael. Again, I remember the time. I remember, you know, I'm bad. I remember all of these things. So, and remember, before streaming, Hulu and Netflix, on cable TV, they always used to play the older music too. VH1 and BET, MTV. So even if you were born in the early 80s and all that other stuff, they still kept playing. Michael was the king, okay? So they played his music constantly, so you still grew up on it and knowing who he was. Okay, so yeah. And I saw the interviews again and all that stuff. So yeah, when I get old, I say, yes, y'all, I saw Michael when he was alive, damn it. And I'm telling you, everything you hear about being the king of music, yes. I can tell you, I remember the day he died and how the world stopped when he passed away. And that beautiful tribute they did to him at the Apollo. And I remember Al Sharpton was there. And Al Sharpton said, we didn't come here tonight to see a celebrity. He said, we came to salute. I'm getting chills. Al Sharpton said, we came to salute a legacy. Because the Apollo is, I mean, it's a, you know, in the Black American community, the Apollo was everything. A lot of careers were made from the Apollo. And the Jackson 5, I believe, were at the Apollo. I mean, it's in Harlem, strong Black American community, but not as much anymore. So when Al Sharpton said that, I got chills, because he's like, look, we're not just, he said this too. He said, you opened the door for us as Black people, and we are not, I'm getting teary, we are not going to close the door on you. That's what Al Sharpton said. He said, because the media was still trying to vilify him. He said, the fuck with that. He said, Michael, you opened the door for us. And baby, we're not going to close the door on you. We're not going to throw you away. We're not going to treat you like that. You're not trash. We're not going to throw you away. We're not going to close the door. The world will remember who the fuck you are. You're not going to be thrown away like you ain't shit. You're the greatest artist in history. You changed the world. And baby, we're not going to, your people. And again, Michael loved all people, but there were some people trying to take him down and didn't like that, I ain't gonna get into it, but Al Sharpton said, I love when he said, we're not gonna close the door on you. And we didn't come to just see a celebrity. We came to salute our fucking legacy as Black American people. Be very clear, Black American people. He said, this is our fucking legacy right here. One of our legacies. And that was powerful to me when he said it. Like, this is our legacy. Do you realize this is your legacy as Black American people? Like, no, baby. No. We ain't just gonna let him go like that. Y'all will remember Michael, and you got something to be proud of. Just looking at this picture makes me sad, though, because it's like he just gave his whole life, his whole childhood, just performing, making people happy, and his fucked up daddy and all that other stuff. And he did it. And then to pass away at 50, 50 is still young. It's so sad. But his legacy lives on. So that is it for tonight. I thank you all for watching. I'm getting emotional. Thank you, everybody. You all have a good night. Bye, y'all. Oh, Lord, I usually have my picture, but y'all all take care. Y'all have a good night.